Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to review a cooking item, but before we get into this video, if you have not subscribed to my channel, click that bar down below or click the upward link up there and subscribe to Uniquely Stays, and also subscribe to my blog uniquelystays.com. It will be in the description bar down below as well as somewhere in this video. Alright, so let's get into it. As you guys know, I cook a lot in my home. I love to try different cooking items that I see in the store, different cooking appliances, I should say. Today, I am going to be reviewing this cast iron skillet I got from Amazon. And I'm going to show you the box right here. So I purchased this cast iron skillet off of Amazon, and if you see me looking to the corner, I'm looking at my computer. This cast iron skillet is from Victoria, and it is a 12-inch pre-seasoned with 100% kosher certified non-GMO flaxseed oil. So this already came pre-seasoned, and I purchased this for about $41.22 on Amazon. Of course, there are other brands that have cast iron skillets, but I did some research and I wanted to try this one out. The internet recommended, or Google I should say, recommended a 12-inch for everyday cooking. Obviously they have larger pans, but again, I'm not cooking for an army of people. I'm cooking for a few, so this would do me just fine. I always wanted a cast iron skillet. I think we have one in my house, but I don't know where it is, so I decided to purchase a brand new one and kind of give my thoughts on it, see how it works with what I cook. I've seen tons of videos of people using it to make desserts, dinner, breakfast, and so I really want to try it for myself, and I heard that it is a lot of work to upkeep, but I'm willing to test it out. So over the next, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks, I am going to just cook different meals in the cast iron skillet, giving it my thoughts. And today I just want to do a quick unboxing of this cast iron skillet, if I can open it. Do I need tape? Oh, yes I do. Well, you know, we're going to use our good old fingers to bust this open. Okay, so this doesn't really come with any additional instructions. It looks like this when you take it out of the box. It has some instructions in there. Well, does it have instructions in here? I don't know. Oh, yes, it does. Okay, so the instructions are on the back, and then it gives you a little synopsis or a little instructions on how to use the cast iron skillet. Again, I did my research. I heard that Victoria's was a really good brand, so I wanted to try it out. Inside the little instruction kit they have here, they do tell you what you should do before you use this. So it says, our seasoned cast iron is seasoned at high temperatures and ready to get cooking. Here's what we suggest you for first use. Hand wash with mild dish soap and warm water. Okay. Dry completely using a lint-free towel, never air dry. Okay. Some foods may stick the first few times of use. Okay, so it says some may stick the first few times of use. Use a little extra cooking oil or fat until the seasoning is strong and settled. Vegetables, oils, nut oils, lard, butter, all cooking and edible fats are usable on cast iron. Try to avoid acidic foods like tomato, vinegar, citrus until you get some nice coats of seasoning going. And it says some people choose to do a few extra rounds of homemade seasonings before they start cooking. It is not necessary to do so. So I know some people will like cook up and garlic or like just something in the pot to kind of get the pot to get accustomed. I guess that helps in the seasoning process. I see people do that with like woks, but they're saying that that isn't necessary to cook other additional items in there before you want to actually cook. It says it is not necessary to do so, as seasoning will continue to build and improve with use. But if you would like to, that is fine. We do not suggest more than 3 to 4 layers of flax seasoning on iron, as too many layers of flaxseed may cause peeling due to the slickness and hardness of the layers. Okay, so I am going to do all of that and hope that my food comes out good. And then it also gives you instructions on how to clean it over here. I'm not going to go through that. And then it gives you instructions on things that you should never do. So for the cast iron skillet, it says never clean in dishwasher. Solely follow the cleaning instructions before first use. And for best performance, always preheat your Victoria cast iron before using on low to medium heat. And for searing, allow your iron to heat for 4 to 5 minutes. And then it gives you a bunch of other instructions. And then it gives you a whole bunch of maintenance things that you have to do. And I'm definitely going to follow those instructions when I'm using the cast iron skillet. And then you can also go to their website for recipes on how to use this. And on the back too as well, it says allow to cool down, wash and lightly scrub with warm soapy water, dry thoroughly with a lint-free cloth. And then it says cover the cooking ware with a thin layer of cooking oil, avoid excess, store in a dry place, or to season or restore the seasoning, see instructions inside. Okay, awesome. So this is what the pot looks like again. All right, it's 12-inch. It's a little heavy, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like, you know, when Medea was talking about the grit ball and the grit and swat, I feel like that right now. I can just, you know, take this and use it as a weapon if necessary. But this is very, you know, heavy, very sturdy. So I would say if you're gonna hold this, make sure that you have some grip, because if you're not, you can easily drop this on your toes, and I'm sure you don't want to do that. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I am just giving you my first thoughts on the pot, and right now so far so good. I love the fact that it has instructions so that you can follow. I love that it also offers recipes if you don't know what to make. I love the fact that it came pre-seasoned, even though I wanted to pre-season it myself. But I love the fact that if you buy this pot and you want to cook a meal immediately, literally the same that you get it, you can put it on your stove and cook and go ahead. And I love the detailed instructions on how to use the pot, what not to do, what to do. And I would only say it's not a negative, it's just the size pot that I got. I got a 12-inch, so, you know, obviously this is a heavier pot. It's not extremely heavy, but it does have some weight to it. So far so good. I'm going to be using this pot for about 2 to 3 weeks, cooking different meals in there, seeing how the pot cooks the food. I know it mentioned that the first few times the food might stick, so I'm going to keep an eye out for that just in case my food does stick. And I'm going to show you all the meals that I make in here and then give my final thoughts at the end of 2 to 3 weeks. All right, guys, so I will see you in a couple of weeks. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as promised, I am giving my 2-week thoughts on this cast iron skillet, if you guys remember. So like I said, I was using the skillet for about, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks, just giving my overall thoughts on how I liked it, my final thoughts on it, and my kind of advice and suggestions if you are someone that is interested in purchasing a cast iron skillet. So this is how my skillet looks. Alright, after about 2.5 weeks. The first thing I want to say is that I overall really enjoyed using my cast iron skillet. I want to say that I cooked about maybe 3 to 5 meals in the cast iron skillet over the course of 2 weeks, and I'm going to leave those photos in this portion right here. So first I want to say, as you can see in some of these photos, is that I ended up cooking chicken, steak, I did a vegetable mix, and then I want to say that I did... I don't remember, but I did a bevy of stuff that you can see here in these clips. I say that I really do love this cast iron skillet. It controls the heat pretty well, I'm not gonna lie. I did have some, you know, a lot of burntness, that's the way to say it. A lot of burntness in the pan when I made certain foods, especially when I did the steak. I accidentally left it in the oven for way too long, and that thing got hot so quick I could not even believe it. And that's another thing, but we're gonna get into that later. Number one, really enjoyed the fact that the cast iron skillet was super easy to clean. It maintained the heat extremely well, and it cooked the food really well as well. It cooked the food really good. It cooked the food really awesome. I don't even call these negatives, but some of the things to watch out for specifically with this cast iron skillet, and I'm pretty sure with all in general, is that the cast iron skillet can heat up pretty fast. I think I must have burned myself 3 times because I forgot that it was going to heat up really quickly. I didn't think about it, especially oftentimes when I cook the food, I would cook it on the stovetop first, and then halfway through, I would pop the cast iron skillet into the oven, which I love. So it saves me time not having to create another pan or whatever it is. I start on the stove and I take this bad boy and I shove it into the oven, and it cooks there, and it cooks wonderfully. But because it gets hot so fast, you have to remember to, you have your mittens on or your cloth or whatever you use in your kitchen to remove, pots of high heat. Use that, because I burned myself 3 times just forgetting. I don't know why I kept forgetting that the cast iron skillet could get so hot, but I surely did. So I'm just admonishing and reminding you and urging you that if you use your cast iron skillet, especially if you put this bad boy in the oven, put on some gloves when you are removing it from the oven, because you will burn your pretty fingers. I think a second thing too is to make sure that you watch your cast iron skillet, because it gets so hot so fast. If you have gravy in there, the gravy will begin to evaporate very quickly. That's what happened in the steak, and I'm going to show a photo right here. So in the steak, basically, I went outside for like a couple of seconds, literally like I want to say 10 seconds I was out there for, and something just said to me, go back inside and check the oven, because the little gravy that you put up in there ain't gonna be no more. And when I went up in there, that gravy was just zapped. The outer areas of the pot was burnt. Like, it was just ridiculous. There was no absolute gravy in there. I pretty much burnt up the bottom of my steak. Now, did it taste good? Yes. Was it still tender inside? Yes. But there was barely any gravy in there, because I didn't realize that the cast iron skillet can literally heat up and zap any liquid in that pot in a matter of seconds. So if you are going to put this in the oven, you're going to put this over your stove, just make sure you keep a watchful eye, understanding that the liquid in the pot will evaporate very quickly as soon as the cast iron skillet begins to heat up. Okay, so that was my second tidbit. My third tidbit is just that when you are applying the oil, whatever oil you want to use, personally for me, for the past 2 weeks, I have been using coconut oil. Victoria's, on the back of the label or the back of the wrapper, whatever you want to call it, it gives you a slew of different oils that you can use for the cast iron skillet. So you can use coconut oil, flaxseed oil, I think you can use canola oil. There are a bevy of others on the bag that you can use. The only thing I would say is just you really need just a little bit. A little goes a long way. I found that the very first few times when I did it, I was putting a little bit too much oil, and there were like oil kegs, I should say, like, happening on the pot, and I didn't like that. So I realized that you needed to just add a little bit, and what I did was I added a little bit, and then if I felt like there was still too much excess, I just kind of like dabbed it out with a little bit of a paper towel. Another thing I want to say is that when you are, the first time that you use this skillet, it tells you to dry it with what did it say? I think it's like a microfiber cloth. Do not use paper towel. I used paper towel in the beginning, and I literally had to wash it again because the paper towel little like feathers or whatever it was got stuck on the cast iron skillet, and it looked like little fuzzies, and I didn't like that. So I ended up having to rewash it again, and then I used we have a mitten that is more of like a hand drying mitten where you put on your hands and you dry your pots, and so I used one of those to dry it, microfiber, and there was no little like fuzz balls on the cast iron skillet. So number 5, just make sure that before you wash that you allow the cast iron skillet to cool down completely. Do not wash this while it's piping hot. We typically do this thing where, when food is really hot, we take the pot and we put it in the sink, turn on the water immediately, the cold water, and we're trying to cool it down. So we're saying when we do that, we over time the pot itself will not heat properly. So before you wash this, just leave it on the stove and allow it to cool down 100% completely, where you can actually touch it without having a mitten on or whatever it is, and then wash it in warm water. I used regular Dawn soap. It didn't do anything to my pot. In warm water, and then I rinsed it off in warm/hot water, dried it off with a microfiber cloth, did the oil bath for it, and then put it underneath my oven. Like I said, I would definitely give this cast iron skillet a 9 out of 10, and the only reason why I'm giving it out 100% of a 10 is just because it's kind of heavy, to be really honest. But overall, it's easy to clean, easy to use. They offer great recipes, great support if you need it, and also as well, I was able to cook from chicken to meat, and I'm looking forward to making desserts and fish and pastas and all different types of things. If you are interested in a cast iron skillet, I would highly recommend Victoria's Cookware's cast iron skillet. This is the 12-inch. I got this from Amazon, and I hope that you took this opportunity during this quarantine to try some new appliances. And leave a comment down below if you've had a cast iron skillet. How long have you been cooking in yours? What are some tips and advice you can give me? And what are some other brands that you've been using that you really like? Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Bye guys, and I will see you in my next one.